Hey, we gonna party tonight or what?
Yeah, we are gonna party.
So, what would you little maniacs like to do first?
Hey, Lashy Kids and Driving News, this is Lady Shasha, and I am joined by Doa Magdy, the founder of the 60-Second Horror Festival. And today she has a great presentation for you guys. We are going to get into how to make a 60-second horror film on your cell phone. Please welcome Doa to the stage.
Hello,
Oh, I
hello.
think you're still. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, I just unmuted myself. All good. How are you, Shasha? Good to see you.
I'm doing pretty good. How are you? I phased out for a second there. I need to drink my afternoon coffee, and then I'll be back on it.
How's your movie going?
Oh, it's going. I'm trying to develop the confidence to finish it, but I will meet the deadline. That much I do know. Tony Man is here. He says, "Hello, Doa."
Hi, Tony.
Sorry, it's a little bit slow after the update because I still have like the 2017 model, but she's still working for me, and I appreciate that. I was about to adjust my glasses and then realized I don't have them on.
Oh my God, I do that too.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I forgot I took my glasses off. So, I talked to you about this before in our interview, but I'm going to ask again for benefit of the new people watching that maybe they didn't get to see the interview, but they're here meeting you now. How did you get the idea for 60-second horror films?
Okay, so I was actually inspired by like trying to find ways to make filmmaking accessible, especially for folks that always say, oh, I've never made a movie. I don't know if I can make a movie. And living in the era of TikTok, where we're literally used to making videos of seconds, I'm like, wait a minute, what if we can make a horror movie and actually make it 60 seconds or less? Because it's also a great practice on storytelling, because movies are all about visual storytelling. So it is a skill to be able to tell your story in 60 seconds or less. And I feel it's a fun experience to have.
And what did you find most interesting about starting to film using your cell phone? As well, I should ask: have you tried to film with other types of cameras before the cell phone, or you started with the cell phone?
No, yeah, I'm too broke. Too broke. So I'm a firm believer that as artists, a lot of times we always focus on what we don't have. Like if I want to take some photos of my friend and my friend is like, oh my God, I want my photo to look like this. We're always like, but I don't have the specific camera. So my approach is always like, how can we create magic with what we have? And we can make so much magic with smartphone now. Like you don't need to buy any equipment because again, movies is not about what cameras use. This is not what people are going to remember. It's a story that you are telling.
And arguably, the cell phone cameras now are, I would think, almost comparable to movie cameras in that, like my new cell phone, it's not super new, but it's a Moto G. It's the Moto G. It shoots in 4K. I haven't shot anything in 4K. Well, let me back it up. I did shoot something in 4K, but when I tried to upload it, it took so long. I was like, I'm gonna wait until they make the upload faster before I shoot in 4K again. I'll just stay with the regular like 1080p.
Yes, because even if you have an old smartphone, that actually like could be like those filters and retro stuff, it could add to the story too. Like even if it's pixelated, that could be its own thing.
You can change it to 4:3 ratio. And I should mention, there's a free editing software that you can get on, well, I know on Android, I'm not so sure with Apple because I don't have an iPhone, I just have an Android phone, but it's called Power Director. And you can put it on any Android phone and it edits. And within those edits, the presets, you can do a VCR preset or a TV preset that automatically gives your film that look like it's on an old fashioned, square TV or from an old fashioned VHS tape. And that's pretty cool.
That's awesome. Okay. Yeah, it is on App Store. Okay, y'all, if you have iPhone, it's on App Store. It is free.
We have another comment here. Allie says, hi, everyone. I'm on time for once. Shout out to Allie.
Woo, Allie, you did it.
So do you want to go right into your presentation or do you want to speak a little bit more?
Yeah, we can go right in. Let me open the thing. So let me know if you can see this first slide.
Yeah, everybody in the chat, please let us know if you can see the slides right now before we get started so that we can make sure everyone's able to see it very, very clearly. Okay, Tony Man says he can see it.
Okay, perfect. Awesome. Okay, so we're gonna dive right into how to make a horror movie in 60 seconds or less. But before, I just wanted to share quickly the submission rules. So basically, the submission is open to emerging BIPOC filmmakers from anywhere on the planet. The movie has to be 60 seconds or less, filmed on a smartphone, and turn your camera sideways so it's a horizontal shot. And the other rule is no dialogue. There is no dialogue at all. So we're keeping it low budget AF. You don't need to write a script. Sound is always optional in this. I wanted to start, before I dive into the tips, I wanted to share some examples from the movies that were submitted last year. Horror in Seconds launched in November 2023. So this is our second year running. So I'll show y'all some examples. So this is the first one. If you can't see it, please let me know. I can hear you. So that's it.
The lamp late one night, when my eyes beheld an eerie sight, for my monster from its slab began to rise, and suddenly, to my surprise,
Okay, y'all were able to see that?
Hmm. Did you guys hear it well? I need y'all to talk to me in the chat. I see it
Okay,
counted, so I
perfect.
know y'all there. All right. I'm assuming y'all can hear and see everything because no one's complaining. All right, let's keep going.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, just to give you all context, the theme for the movies last year was holiday horror. So the filmmakers had the option to like unleash their creativity and redefine holiday. So holiday didn't have to be Christmas, could be 420, Divorce Day, whatever it is. This example was Halloween. And the next example we have is this.
Happy birthday to you.
I didn't understand that one. Maybe I'm the only one. I didn't understand that one. Can you play it again? Maybe I'll get it a
Yes,
second time. Play it again.
yes.
Yeah, that was just, it was like creepy for no reason. Like, we're just going to
Okay.
do a creepy birthday.
Yes, exactly. It was like the setup was going to happen. Why is everyone acting creepy? And then it's a
Hmm.
birthday. So they wanted the holiday to be a birthday. Fun fact, these were my students at an art school called Emily Carr in Vancouver. And I gave them 20 minutes only to go write a story, film, and edit. And boom, this is what they created in 20 minutes.
Very, very cool.
Um, Next one is this.
That one made me recognize that they paid particular attention to the score. I was really listening to
Yes.
the score, like, wow, they did a really good job with that underpinning the activities in the video. Tony Mann says for your students, hope you gave them an A.
Yes. For sure. Like they got a bonus grade, whoever submitted at that point. And yeah, I think the student got stuck in school. They're spending the holidays in school. And this last one is also a very creative example on the take on holiday, and it has no sound. So don't worry, y'all, if you can't hear anything, it's intentional.
Super important project. Again. You know,
This
that
gave me so
almost,
much anxiety.
yes, that almost happened to me. One of my last projects in grad school, it was due the next day, and my mind was like, well, I can wait till tomorrow to turn it in, but let me just. Then something in my stomach said, well, turn it in early, just turn it in tonight, just so that you can sleep and you know it's done. I was so lucky I turned it in the night before because the next day my computer died.
Oh,
Like I was like breathing a sigh of relief. Like if I had waited that extra day, I would have had, well, I wouldn't have been completely SOL because these were the older Macs from like 2012 that you can open it up and take the hard drive out and then plug it into another Mac and read the hard drive. So
wow.
it wasn't a completely lost cause, but and before I knew that I could do that, it made me feel like it was a lost cause.
Yeah. Oh my God. This is the trauma of school, y'all. We all know this trauma. Like I'm watching this, I'm
Mhm.
like, ooh, this is scary. On
But
its
I
own.
will tell you a Gen X story because I'm old enough to remember the first time I went away to college. We still had to type our papers out and hand them in as physical copies. And you could make a little extra money that way too, because a lot of people didn't want to type their own papers, so they would
Mhm.
handwrite their papers in a notebook and pay you to type it out for them. So I got a little bit of extra money typing other people's papers.
God. Okay. Do y'all have any school horror stories? It's probably
Onimus
related
says
to
he has been there at Full Sail, and he also asked, "There's graffiti in Vancouver? It's a city, and it's
it's
a city
everywhere.
that it gets the city that is most used to double as New York in Hollywood films when they want to film in New York, where they can't film in New York, they go to Vancouver."
Yes, it's everywhere for sure. Okay. And perfect. So we're gonna go step by step how to make a 60-second horror movie. Step number one, which is the most important. First thing you need to do is to think of a story. We have two themes for this year to choose from, either urban legends or religious horror, or you can like mix both in just one story, whatever you want. So like when you're drafting a story, see where you're leaning more towards. Do you want to tell an urban legend story, a religious horror story, or maybe combine them both? But I feel like we all have some fun urban legend stories to share. And then after you kind of have idea of the theme you want to apply for, think about the tone. Do you want to make it creepy? Do you want to make it funny? Do you want to make it suspense? Or all of the above together? This will give you idea on how to direct your movie. And next step, start shooting on your phone, y'all. So the most important tip I can give for this one is take as much footage as you can. Take more footage than you think. Like for example, if your main story takes place in an alley, go to the alley morning and night and take the shots, because this will help you a lot in the editing process. Because sometimes when we just take one take and we think we're ready, we start the editing, we're like, ooh, maybe it was better to film it in the morning, maybe at night. So take as much footage as you can, more than you think.
Can I add
If
something to your
yes,
to taking the footage? This is just a
yes,
note on the tech side for saving your data because Apple charges a hell of a lot to save data. Um, some people's phones may not have a lot of space. You can upload your video to YouTube as a private file that no one can see but you, and use that as a place to store videos. You could use Vimeo as well, and also Facebook. I use Facebook to save video all the time, and you set it to private, and then you can come back and get the video out when you want. Just preserve space on your phone.
yes, that's a great tip. Yeah, save it on YouTube as private. I keep forgetting about that because I pay Apple like $50 a month to just take everything. I always forget to delete photos, y'all.
Same.
Okay, cool. Next, if you have an actor or actors, which is probably gonna be your homies, y'all, it's gonna be your friends, someone you know. If your schedules are not aligning and you need them as the main character in the film, until your schedules align, shoot the environment where the story is gonna take place or anything that's part of the story. Don't wait for your friends, you can add their shots later. But again, this connects to the first part, taking as much footage as we can. Take the footage of the environment where the story is taking place, and then when your friend joins, or your actor, then you can shoot their part of that. And don't forget to shoot horizontally. The most important step in all of this is to actually have fun, because if you're not having fun in the process, people will be able to tell. And also, it's not going to feel good. Like if you're just doing it because you have to do it, or you're going and approaching it as like, I don't know if I can do this. If you're starting it with, I don't know if I can do this, y'all, we gotta rewire our brain. Think of it as if you're just like filming an Instagram reel. You're marketing something that you want, approach it the exact same way. You're having fun. You're never gonna market your own product if you're not having fun in the process, because again, the audience would always be able to tell. What
Remember,
questions?
we start out life creative. When you're in kindergarten and a teacher hands you a piece of paper and some crayons, there's not a single child that says, I can't do this. We all, at some point in our lives, we sometimes get told by the wrong people that we can't do something, or even our own self-doubt keeps us from doing things. But there's a creativity in everyone, is my belief. You just have to find where that creativity is.
Exactly, like 100%. There's something about that transition from childhood to adulthood. This side of us is just murdered. Actually, this could be a good idea for a horror movie. Bring your inner critic and just kill them on screen.
I used to make up songs in my head walking home from school when I was a child. Now I can't do it anymore. Like I don't have the ability to just make up random songs without using someone else's melody or something.
Yes, exactly. Like, yeah, channel your inner child, bring them out. And remember that this festival is literally created for emerging artists and people who have never filmed a movie before. Once you can make a 60-second movie in the future, when you're trying to make an actual short that's 5-10 minutes, or even a feature, this is actually a great practice, because it will train you on how to edit and narrow down your story to just a limited amount of time. So it is a good way to start. And I'm a firm believer we're all filmmakers. Again, we take videos all the time of our trips, our stories, just documenting everything. So we are filmmakers. Ooh! It's always the editing, y'all. Okay, the editing, honestly, is the main reason behind multiple breakdowns, increase in imposter syndrome, and a lot of stress. So the first thing I can recommend, just to tell y'all, there are a lot of free apps to edit. So don't overthink it. You don't have to go on Final Cut Pro or any of the more complex stuff. Narrow it down, make your life easier. Again, it's all about having fun. And I don't care about the edits you're using. It's all about the stories you're telling. So some examples are CapCut. You can literally edit on TikTok. I love editing on TikTok. Instagram, iMovie. What I do sometimes, I would use some filters on CapCut and then finish on TikTok. So you can mix some of those different elements from different free apps. What's the name of the app you recommended, Shasha, at the beginning?
Oh, Power Director. I'll write it in the chat as well.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, and Power Director, and I just checked, is available on App Store. So even just telling yourself, oh, I can edit on TikTok, you already feel like some weight lifted off your shoulders, because you have what you need. You don't have to look further. This is why I created this festival. How can you create magic with what you have? One thing, actually, if you have not started filming or doing any of that, but you're planning to submit, one thing I invite you to get out of the way is the credits. And don't worry about like the font or what it looks like. Again, we're not going to focus on that when we're screening the film. But I feel this is always in the back of the mind of a lot of filmmakers. And a lot of filmmakers who've submitted last year or are submitting this year. It's always like the sticky part is the credits and the title of the movie. So while you're on the bus, just do it. Just write credits, whatever. Again, you can use the font from TikTok or CapCut. I personally like the fonts that they have. And as I mentioned, if you've ever made a reel, you can totally submit a movie to Word Seconds. I had mentioned in our previous live stream, if you attend this live stream live, you get an extension on the deadline, because the deadline is October 10th. So you get 1 extra week if you are in the live stream. I'll share an example of editing. This video is sped up, but if you are really worried about editing, I would recommend go on your phone, look for a 20 or 30-second video, a super random one, and just play around with the filters that are on different apps. So this is an example. This video, again, is sped up, but it's just to give you an idea. I went on CapCut. I chose a random beach video. I really wanted to play around with different lights and effects. And you can already tell if I'm setting the tone for like an apocalyptic sunset, that's telling a story. If I'm doing this kind of angle for the screen, this is telling a different story. So play around with all the filters and effects that are on these free apps, not necessarily for the clips you're taking. Play around again from a random video that you have on your phone and see what options they have. Because right now, TikTok and CapCut have a lot of effects for Halloween. So there's literally a scary section, I think it's called Dark on CapCut. And yeah, the video has 10 more seconds. Okay, it's done. There's even like a filter here on CapCut called Sci-Fi. So play around on the apps. If you have TikTok, choose a random video from your phone, play around with the edits and the effects, and it gets you more familiar. So that way, when you're done filming, you can be more comfortable about what you want to use for edits. What questions do we have, or feedback, or ideas?
Give them a second to type it in. I'm writing down CapCut myself. I have CapCut on my phone, but I also want to see if it will be. Do you have it on your iPad?
You're asking me?
Yeah, CapCut.
Oh,
It'll also.
okay. Who else would you ask? I have it on my iPhone and iPad. Yes. Oh my god.
Oh, we gotta plug in. Hang on, chat. I have to plug my computer in there. Thought I had a full charge, but maybe I didn't. There we go. Now we're back in business. I know there's some people in this chat that weren't here last time. I want Doa to talk a little bit more about the film festival, the other events that you have in the film festival. While you're doing that, let me pull up the IG again. I know she also has different shows that are part of the film festival. It's not just a kind of, I don't want to describe regular film festivals as stodgy, but like it's not just a sedentary sit in one place, film festival. There's a lot to do.
Yes, I actually like when I made that festival, I wanted it to reflect a bit of my spirit because I'm both fun and funny. So I wanted to also go beyond just like movie screenings because that's what most film festivals do. I wanted it to be more like a community event, community gathering, like what is happening. So we had some horror-esque. I think I have some footage here. We had some horror-esque, so basically burlesque, but horror themed. And we had live performances. It ranged from metal to jazz. And the second day on our closing night, I did a horror poetry night to highlight local poets. Because again, Horror in Seconds is about amplifying local talents. How can I create this platform to highlight more than just filmmakers? And yeah, exactly. This year we're doing the same thing, and I'm adding some extra surprises. This footage is from some of the performers last year. The theme for the performers was to be horror Barbie. So each one took it creatively in their way. The one screaming on the right, she was a very sexy Freddy Krueger hunting your dreams. We got Metal Barbie, Queen Akasha. And this is a clip from one of the horror-esque performances. Her horror Barbie was Jennifer's body.
Oh Oh wait, hold on, hold on. I can't. I have to switch it back to you because that one's not. There we go. There we go. Try it now.
Okay, let's try.
Oh, I see that Kasha now.
Yes, yeah, Queen Akasha. We got Sexy Freddy.
Mm-hmm.
This is footage from like from the audience. And
Okay, we might have to stop this when we get kicked out of YouTube. Okay, as long as she has a bra on. I was like, yeah, because we'll get dinged if we showed like full nudity.
yeah,
Tony
it is clearly a 19 plus festival.
Yes. Tony says, I have my ideas for my movie. I just have one or two more shots, but I need to find a brick wall in Orlando. Well, that should be easy to find, especially down by Colonial. Yeah, I saw a brick wall down there.
Oh my God, Tony, were your shots in Seattle? Was your creepy costume?
Oh yeah, he does. He has those shots. Oh, I should have taken more video. There's one video of you walking with the shovel, dragging the shovel. That was
Yeah.
cool. The only thing is there were
Yeah,
people
if you all
talking
have
in
like
the background,
sorry?
so I would have. There were people talking in the background, so I have to see if I can minimize the voices, but keep the shovel sound.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That would require some edits. And also like if anyone has like some shots where they were traveling and they wish they took a longer one, you can always play with the speed in the edits too, because again, the speed changes the story. You can make it slower to add more drama, you can make it faster to add more tension, like whatever you want. You can play around with the edits too. Again, work with what you have. Don't overthink it. The only reason you're not going to submit is you're overthinking. That's it. Okay, I wanted to share a clip from Get Out. I recorded it because it's about, I think it's either 45 seconds or a minute, and I intentionally muted it to show you an example of how just this portion, this shot, can be submitted to her in seconds. You can tell a story in just 1 minute or less, and this is an example. And again, it's muted intentionally. And that's it. This could literally be its own movie. It's creating the tension within the audience. And we already see, like, a black guy in a house with the rich white people. That's it. That's its own horror story. Like, we already know. We don't need context. We don't need to know what's happening. And there is no audio, which is even making it more dramatic. And this is just about 45 seconds to 1 minute. That can be literally its own movie. The last example I have is from Key and Peele. And it's also about 45 seconds to a minute. That could be literally its own story. I think this one has sound. Let's see. Yeah.
Oh my God! They got Brad! They got Brad! They got Brad and get us! They didn't get us. Okay? We're still alive. Right, keep it together. Yeah, okay. We gotta make it to that sheriff's station. Oh my God.
And this exactly can be its own movie too. What are they running from? Who is Brett? What is that sound they heard? Sounds like a zombie, but what is happening? Like, like movies don't have to be a certain length to tell a story. It's all about like how much can we share through visual storytelling, regardless of the time. This is another example why it is possible to make a horror movie in 60 seconds or less. And the last thing I brought for you all, we're gonna do actually, let's do it 5 minutes. We're gonna do a 5 minute exercise where you're just gonna spend 5 minutes drafting on your phone or a piece of paper your story. Like, do you want to do urban legends, religious horror, a mix of both? Just write it out, draw it out, whatever you want to do, just dump it out, get it out of the way, because this is the first step to actually believe in ourselves. Once we have that belief that we can do anything, everything else doesn't matter. No deadline, no equipment, nothing. It all starts with the belief. So believe that you can make it. Believe that you're a filmmaker. Take 5 minutes, see how that feels in your body, write it out, draw it out, and report if you want to.
And don't forget that you also can research. You could say to yourself, oh, I want to do urban legends, but I don't know which urban legend do I want to do. Well, Wikipedia has a list of urban legends that can give you a start. You want to get your information from other places other than Wikipedia, but this will at least give you a start, because what is cool about some Wikipedia pages, as they're listing these urban legends, like 999 phone charging, 2016 clown sightings, I remember those. Cassandra's Genesis, I'm just skipping through. Baby Train, I have heard of that one. But when you look at a Wikipedia, when you go all the way down to the very bottom, it lists their sources. These are the places you want to go to read about what's what, not just Wikipedia. Go to the different sources that are down here that you can fill in some of your information. I feel
exactly. And people also from different cultural backgrounds. I love the variety of creepy stories from different cultures. And the best part, you can make up your own urban legend. It doesn't have to exist. You just make it up as part of the story. And thank you for bringing that up, Shasha, because actually I thought about something. Religious horror doesn't have to be offensive. Mm-hmm. Think of something like, I don't know, what happens if you grow up in a super religious family and you miss one Sunday? You can make a horror story out of that. Mm-hmm. Or in other religions, if people with wombs get their periods and they go to the place of worship during their period, what horror story can come out of that? It's not necessarily horror that's blasphemous or anything. It's like the twist of the things that are scary in religion and how can we twist it. And I feel like urban legends and religious horror can come together in a beautiful way.
You know what always bothered me about Twilight? To make the connection, you mentioned periods. And I just thought to myself, a vampire going to a high school at any day of the month, one of their classmates is going to be on their period. If they're a vampire and they're smelling the blood, that's not a good combination. That's all I kept on thinking about. That, and if I was a vampire, I would never go back to high school. Like, why? You can do
yes.
so many. Even if you look young, go back to college. Don't go back to high school. Like, oh, why?
Yes, this is a great example. Yes, this is awesome.
All right, make sure you do follow Doa at Horror in Seconds on Instagram. She also has a TikTok, which I'm trying to convince her to use more, because I feel like that's the community that's gonna flock to you more than Instagram. Instagram is, I don't know, it has a great horror community on Instagram, but you really have to interact a lot in order for them to remember that you exist.
Yes,
Your ex
Instagram is
never remember you.
painful.
Yeah, it's very out of sight, out of mind. Which it's not. It's not. It's just I guess a function of that particular social media. Twitter is for haters.
Oh, Twitter
Hate on
used to be a good place.
someone.
Twitter used to be a good place.
Yeah, Twitter used to be a really cool place until the Dusty Muskie took it over. What were
Yeah.
they calling him? They were calling him apartheid, apartheid tide or something like that. They was calling him something apartheid Fred or something. But his lack of moderation has turned Twitter into a hellscape. Because you used
Oh
to
my
be able to. I mean, I've been on Twitter since 2010, so I can remember when you could report somebody and they were just off the rip banned for any type of like racism, sexism threats. They were just off rip.
God.
Just you're banned until we investigate, and then we might unban you if we find that it was fraudulent. But like now, there's like no moderation, and
Yeah, and anyone gets a blue check mark and boom, it's like, oh my
oh
God,
yeah,
it's
and you're paying $80 a year to get that blue check mark, which makes it mean nothing.
yeah.
And the news sites are navigating away from it. Oh, they're losing almost. They're bleeding advertisers because nobody wants their Johnson and Johnson's baby powder ad underneath like Nazi propaganda.
Yes,
They don't want
exactly.
advertisers don't want that. I don't see why Eli doesn't get that. I'm sure he's losing money on the app. Plus, more people are navigating. Some people are actually navigating back to older apps like Reddit. Reddit is becoming, I think, a little bit more. It went through like a downturn where there wasn't a whole lot of people on Reddit, and I think people are navigating back to Reddit. Um, there was talk of MySpace coming back, but I don't know. It'll be fun to see. It'll be fun to see MySpace come back. People are navigating back to Facebook a little bit, but that one still has its issues. Like all your aunties being on there. Like I have to really moderate what I say on Facebook
Ooh,
because all of my aunties are on Facebook and they'll see it
yes,
and they'll say, don't do it.
yes, yes.
But
I
I get
haven't
to
used
see,
Facebook since 2020, I think.
yeah, but I get to see my aunt's gardens and stuff like that. So that's cool. And talk to my cousins that are in the UK because for some reason we're able to talk to each other on Facebook a lot, but they're not on Instagram and I don't see them really on TikTok. So I kind of have to use Facebook to interact with them. Um, maybe it's not. Maybe those apps aren't as popular in the UK. You guys let me know if anybody's watching from the UK. Is Instagram less popular in the UK? Um, Tony Man says, "Don't worry, Doa. She's forcing me to use TikTok as well."
But you were right, Shasha. Like I posted a video like a few weeks ago, and in like an hour was like 700 views. I'm like,
Yes,
what?
yes, because it
No.
truly is global. Like when they say that they're showing you to the world, they mean it. Whereas I think other apps, they're not showing us our things to the whole world. They're showing us in little geographic pockets. Um, what else? Oh, and I happen to like Twitter because I can just scroll past the shit I don't want to see. I think of it like a TV or radio. If I don't want to see it, I change the channel. But here's the thing: you have more of an armor because you're older. You're in your 50s. You can scroll by it and just say, "Oh, that's BS." But what if you were 14, 15? Those
Oof.
negative things can really impact you stronger because when you're younger, you just feel things so much more intensely. So those negative comments can be. I mean, can you imagine if we had Twitter when we were in school? I
Oh,
probably would have made it out of middle school. I mean, I could not handle
oh
that
my God.
stuff on that people post like the negativity. I could not handle that at 12, 13, 14 years old.
Oh
But I
God,
really
no.
do feel for the young people that if they have to see those type of things, that they're able to, um, or at least I hope that they have the guidance of someone to tell them, you know what, you don't have to interact on that platform, um, because it's not the owner of it doesn't feel like you are worthy enough to be protected. So I wouldn't interact on there. And I actually want to close my Twitter account, but there's a few people that I message on there that that's the only place they're on is Twitter. If I could get them to go somewhere else, then I, because I write as it is, I don't really tweet. I only um, post like when I have a new video and I retweet other people, but I don't say anything on there really.
Yeah,
Um,
Twitter is just a territory for hate. It's just like it's creepy because even it's like if like as a person myself that I'm experiencing this now, even if it doesn't like personally affect emotionally, it still has an impact. Like it doesn't feel good to be
No, because
like just,
you're
it
human.
never feels like it's sticky. It just feels like so uncomfortable. And
Yes,
it's sad. Like what kind of life do people lead that they feel good just hurting someone they don't even know?
they hate their lives. That's why they want to hurt other people.
Exactly.
They hate
It's
their
just
lives,
weird.
and unfortunately, for certain people, a certain demographic in the U.S. who wants to blame all of their problems on people of color, immigrants, and gay people, they don't want to recognize that a lot of their problems come from themselves, not having education, motivation, or opportunity. And instead of them being upset with the infrastructure that denies them the opportunity, they they place the blame on people that don't have anything to do with why they're in the rut that they're in. If they would use that same effort to fight the power structures that also negatively affect them, then they would get somewhere. But they have to open their eyes to see it. They don't see it yet.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. It's pretty sad.
Tony Man says, "That's my freaking mom. She tries to censor me on Facebook." Yes. Tony Man says, "Damn, Lady Shasta, your age dropped." I didn't mean it in a pejorative. I'm just saying the older you get, the more hardened you get. That's why if you ever talk to a person that's 80 years old or above, they don't give a fuck about anything.
Nothing. Zero.
They have ran out of fucks to give, and they say whatever the hell they want to say. And if you say anything to them, they don't care what you're talking about. Like you can't change
Yes.
who they are. And I think that just develops as a function of growing old in the society that you just harden.
Exactly. Yeah, 100%. Okay, we have about a minute and a half left, y'all.
Hmm. If you guys have any questions, now is a great time to ask questions. Um,
I'm
Speaking
just
of horror,
thinking, how can we um, take. Okay, wait. Do you have track of people that are in the live stream? Because I'm just thinking about
yes.
a way to send them the code for the extension deadline.
Well, what I can
Or
have,
should they email me?
yeah, have them. Well, I hesitate to put your email in the chat. What's the better way for them to contact? You know what? Everyone that's in the chat, make sure that your email is in your YouTube profile, and that way we can contact you. That's a safer way to do things. So, yeah,
Perfect. Okay, cool.
because I don't want to put anybody's emails in the live stream for just like
No,
random.
no. I'm not doing to do that.
But if you have like an email that's associated with your YouTube channel, then we can email you. Um, or because I trust my viewers pretty much. Allie, if you're on Instagram, DM me on Instagram so I can make sure it's you, and then I can forward the information to Doa. Same thing with Cash Stanley, who says, "This was awesome. Good job, ladies.
Oh,
Thank you."
thank you, Cash.
All right, I guess we'll wrap it up. Thank you so much. How do I have there? Oh, there's Cash. Where have you been? I'll let y'all handle that in the comments. But I will wrap it up for today. A special thank you to Doa for giving us that presentation. And for those of you that are watching this on the replay, remember that you can still submit, but because you weren't in the live, you're not going to get the extension. So you have to have your submissions in by October 10th, right?
Yes, and if you're a neurodivergent and you have any accessibility needs, just DM me or email me and we'll work something around the deadline because again, I just want to make it accessible.
Mm-hmm. And again, she's at Horror in Seconds. Put it in the chat. On Instagram. Make sure yep, Horror in Seconds. And thank you guys for being here. With that, we're gonna get out of here. I'm hungry, and there's a fruit fly that's been terrorizing me this whole show. I've been trying to stay off, but I keep catching myself swatting it because I can't not. I have ADHD. I can't not notice something flying around.
Yeah, can't unsee that.
Yeah, can't do it. Things that move grab my attention. But with that, you guys have a good night. Until next time.
Okay. See y'all.
Turn it down right